The girl was lighting incense for her grandmother when a ghost suddenly appeared beside her. She softly told him to go away. She wouldn't talk to ghosts. The ghost was so frightened that he quickly ran away. The girl, named Duchim, was a witch who could see wandering spirits in the human world. When Duchim was 8 years old, she went with her grandmother to capture evil spirits. The evil spirit possessed a boy, a poor-performing student. He stood on the rooftop, smiling. Just then, the phone suddenly rang. He immediately regained consciousness and frantically answered. The caller was his mother. She didn't care what he was saying. As soon as he answered, she started scolding him, saying his grades were poor and he wasn't coming home on time. Now he was even becoming rebellious. He tried to explain, but his mother told him to just die instead of causing her so much worry. She only panicked when she saw him on the rooftop and begged him to come down. But the boy was now possessed by an evil spirit. Duchim and her grandmother hurriedly climbed the stairs to the rooftop. However, her grandmother, being old and frail, could no longer climb. She entrusted the exorcism to Duchim, as the evil spirit would take away children with poor academic performance. Her grandmother instructed Duchim to capture the evil spirit. Although Duchim didn't want to, she ran to the rooftop alone while chanting a spell for her grandmother's sake. Duchim saw the evil spirit standing below and recited a spell, but it suddenly vanished. Just as Duchim was about to go closer to investigate, the evil spirit suddenly flipped over and reappeared behind her. It watched little Duchim with great interest, completely disregarding her. She recited the spell her grandmother had taught her, but it had no effect. The evil spirit suddenly ran past her, returned to the edge of the rooftop, and then plunged to the ground below. The terrified girl heard the sound of him hitting the ground and the screams of the people. Just like that, the evil spirit completely took his life. Afterward, the evil spirit began wandering freely through the streets. A sudden surge of power enveloped him. Duchim's grandmother slowly emerged, chanting a spell. The evil spirit tried to tempt her with money, but she wasn't interested. She took out a cloth bag. After chanting a series of spells, the evil spirit finally panicked. Before being trapped in the bag, the evil spirit cursed Duchim, saying that when she turned 18, it would possess her body and torment her to death in the most agonizing way. After subduing the evil spirit, Duchim's grandmother turned and saw the young man's soul. His name was Hyun Su. She told him to say goodbye to his mother before leaving. As she was about to take him home, someone suddenly appeared and stabbed her. When Duchim found her grandmother, she was sitting there dying with her wounds. Her grandmother said the evil spirit had fled. If Duchim could safely get past 18, she would have a long and happy future. Then, Duchim's grandmother's spirit stood beside Hyun Su's spirit and led him away. Duchim leaned against her grandmother's body and wept in sorrow. Suddenly, Duchim turned 18. This was the most important year of her life. If she could get through this year, everything would go smoothly afterward. Because she didn't want to become a witch, she lied to her mother, saying she hadn't seen the spirit. But her mother never believed her. Her mother was extremely greedy for money and had spent her whole life striving for wealth. Her mother had used her connections to arrange for her to attend a prestigious school. Today, Duchim had to go to her new school to enroll. The school had just held an exam. The teacher handed out the grade sheets to the students. Everyone was very worried about whether the person at the bottom of the class would be in their class. In this school, the student with the lowest grades often dies mysteriously. The teacher never revealed who the last-ranked student was. Suddenly, the students heard screams. When they looked down the window, they discovered a student had jumped. It turned out to be Jong-gun, the student with the lowest grades. This was an extremely cruel school. After every exam, the student with the lowest grades in the entire school would die. That day, Duchim transferred to this school. The teacher saw her standing at the classroom door and told the other students to return to their seats. At the same time, he assigned Duchim an empty seat in the classroom. As soon as she sat down, she noticed a boy staring at her. His name was Wu Su, the student with the highest grades in the entire school. At this moment, the principal, Kyung Pil, was discussing with the teachers how to handle the incident of the last-ranked student jumping from the building. To avoid responsibility, Kyung Pil told the teachers to announce to the outside world that Jong-gun jumped due to a family conflict. Meanwhile, Kyung Pil also warned the teachers not to let the students talk about this. When Duchim returned home from school, the spirit of a young man suddenly appeared in her room. This young man was Hyun Su, who had jumped from a building when Duchim was 8 years old. She told him to leave her room, but he begged her to let him hide there for a while. Because today, before she went to her new school, he had possessed a man's body and attacked her mother. Luckily, Duchim rushed in and chased Wu Su's spirit away. Now her mother was searching for him everywhere and vowed not to let him get away with it. After becoming a spirit, Hyun Su's memories became hazy. He remembered having a mother, but he couldn't find his way home. Duchim's mother had once agreed to help Hyun Su find his mother. 10 years have passed, but Duchim's mother still orders him around, refusing to keep her promise to help him find his mother. He can't take it anymore and starts rebelling. He begs Duchim to help him find his mother, but she ignores him. Helpless, he leaves. Meanwhile, Wu Su is at home having dinner with his parents. They're discussing Duchim's mother. Wu Su's mother says Duchim's family are witches and can see spirits. That's why Wu Su only saw Duchim when she entered the classroom. He doesn't believe in ghosts, so he tells his mother to be careful not to be tricked out of her money. The next day, when they arrive at school, a classmate suddenly shouts that Duchim was right next to Jonggun when he jumped from the building. Another classmate says Duchim pushed Jonggun down because she still has wounds on her face. They don't know that the wounds on her face were from preventing Hyun-soo from hitting her mother. The classmates coldly mock Duchim. Just as she was about to retort, Wu Su suddenly approached and asked if she knew how to calculate birth charts. He asked her to calculate if his birth chart and that of a girl were compatible. Hearing this, she immediately imagined how her classmates would treat her if they knew she was a witch. Duchim knew that turning 18 was a sweet moment for her, so she didn't bother explaining further to her classmates and gathered her books, preparing to leave the classroom. At that moment, Wu Su stepped forward and grabbed Duchim. He stepped forward and hugged her. Duchim's grandmother's spirit had entered Wu Su's body. Her grandmother hugged her and comforted her. Hearing her grandmother's voice, she softly called out to her grandmother. Wu Su regained consciousness. He stared blankly at Duchim and her classmates. He had no idea what he had done. Wu Su's best friend, Illinois Nam, had recorded him hugging Duchim and shown it to him. Wu Su refused to believe he had done it. Finally, Illinois Nam pulled Duchim out of the classroom amidst the laughter and teasing of their classmates. Wu Su explained to Duchim that he hadn't intended to hug her. He didn't remember anything at all. Duchim showed no interest in Wu Su, so there was no need to act friendly just because their mothers knew each other. This was also Wu Su's thought. As Duchim was about to leave, her grandmother's spirit entered Wu Su's body again. Her grandmother told her that the evil spirit they encountered 10 years ago was still in this school. Its method of killing was still the same as before. Duchim was a little panicked upon hearing this. She didn't know her grandmother's spirit was in Wu Su's body. Her grandmother told her to look carefully. When she calmed down and opened her eyes again, she saw her grandmother's face. She burst into tears and hugged her grandmother. But in everyone's eyes, she and Wu Su were hugging each other. Duchim's grandmother suddenly announced that an evil spirit had appeared. Wu Su and Duchim were struck down by the evil spirit. At that moment, Kyung-pil suddenly appeared and used a cloth bag to subdue the evil spirit. Wu Su woke up in the school infirmary. Hyun-soo's spirit suddenly appeared behind Duchim. Wu Su couldn't believe he could see ghosts, so he rubbed his eyes repeatedly. Hyun-soo suddenly appeared in front of him. He recoiled in fear. Hyun-soo became even more amused and continued to scare him. Duchim angrily chased Hyun-soo away. They found this unbelievable. They couldn't believe Wu Su could see spirits. Duchim was about to leave when Wu Su pulled her back. He asked her what she had done to him, but she didn't care. As she walked across the schoolyard, Kyung-pil stood in the corner, watching her. Just now, he had used a spell to capture the evil spirit in the cloth bag and warned him not to forget their agreement. The evil spirit could only possess the student with the lowest grades. Kyung-pil also saw Duchim's grandmother possess Wu Su's body. From that, he guessed her true identity. When Duchim returned home, Hyun-soo had entered her room. She seriously reprimanded him. He was extremely suspicious as to why Wu Su could see her. Duchim guessed that perhaps her grandmother's possession had caused a transformation in Wu Su's body, allowing him to see spirits like Hyun-soo. When Wu Su returned home, he continued to see ghosts. He was so scared that he quickly ran outside. Wu Su went to Duchim's house to find her. He gave her money and asked her to make him return to his former self. She pulled him out of her house and told him to leave quickly. At the same time, she made it clear to him that she hadn't made him see ghosts, so she couldn't help him recover. Moreover, she had been able to see ghosts since childhood. The world she saw was completely different from that of ordinary people. Wu Su was a little curious about her world, so he asked if he could take a look. She rubbed her hands together and then placed them over his eyes. When she let go, he opened his eyes in confusion. Her voice echoed in his ears. The ghost began to approach, so he quickly grabbed her hand, begging her to think of a way. But she ignored him and ran away. He started calling for help, but no matter how much he shouted, it didn't help. He imitated her, rubbing his hands together and covering his eyes. But when he removed his hands, the ghost was still around. Wu Su panicked and ran away. Duchim opened the door and looked outside, only to find Wu Su and the other ghosts had left. She felt uneasy. She guessed that soon he wouldn't see the ghosts anymore. At this moment, the ghost chased him to the bus. When he got on the bus, he was the only one inside. Seeing that there were no more ghosts around, he breathed a sigh of relief. But when the bus stopped at the bus station, he saw 2 more ghosts. Even though he quickly turned away, pretending not to see them, the 2 ghosts knew he had seen them. Wu Su hurriedly told the driver to drive away. But when he turned around, he saw many ghosts beside him. Then, more and more ghosts appeared on the bus. Wu Su was terrified, screaming loudly for the entire journey. The next day, he didn't go to class. Seeing his empty seat, Duchim became worried. Everyone thought Duchim had harmed Wu Su, so they started gossiping. But she didn't care about these fabricated rumors. At that moment, another student suddenly ran up and said the exam was about to start. Dushim's teacher went to complain to Kyung Pil, hoping he could cancel the exam because the students at the bottom of the class had recently encountered ghosts and died. He refused, saying that stopping the exam would mean the school was admitting responsibility. He criticized Mr. Sa. Instead of worrying about students losing their lives, they should be thinking about how to prevent students from being at the bottom of the class. The teacher said nothing more. Il-nam asked Dushim to visit Wu Su. Il-nam couldn't get in touch with Wu Su, so he thought something had happened to him. Wu Su's parents looked down on Il-nam, so he could only ask Dushim for help, although she didn't agree. When she got home and learned that her mother had been invited to Wu Su's house by his mother, she rushed to go with her. When they arrived at the house, she discovered that there were many ghosts inside. Wu Su's mother ran out and said that he had been screaming all night. Clearly, no one was home, but he kept going outside and disappearing. He screamed incessantly. She had never seen him like that before. After hearing this, Dushim felt a little guilty. She and her mother went into Wu Su's room. Her mother quietly asked her what she had done last night. She didn't explain much to her mother, only telling her to leave the room. After her mother left, she began to exorcise ghosts. After the ghost left, she told Wu Su that everything was all right. He felt relieved after seeing the ghost gone. She gave him a talisman and told him to keep it in his room. She began to empathize with her. He couldn't imagine how she had dealt with the ghost. She told him that at first, the ghost would always bother him. After being indifferent to them for a while, they would naturally get bored and leave. The ghosts also exchanged information with each other. Dushim was someone the ghosts hated, so they didn't want her around. Hearing her say that, Wu Su laughed. She told him that there was an upcoming exam, and if he didn't want her to steal first place, he should go study. After being advised, he finally relaxed and laughed. Hearing his laughter, his mother was no longer worried. Afterwards, Wu Su took Dushim to Il-nam's family restaurant and helped him with his studies. Il-nam's grades were very poor, so he might come last in this exam. Dushim saw Il-nam's father's spirit and helped him convey a message to Il-nam. His father wished to see him study hard. Il-nam's father bowed his head in gratitude to Dushim. For the first time, Dushim felt that seeing a ghost wasn't such a bad thing. After returning home, her mother looked at a picture of her grandmother and recalled how Dushim's grandmother had asked her to transfer Dushim to another school. Her grandmother had discovered an evil spirit hiding within it. Dushim's mother objected, saying it would put Dushim in danger, but her grandmother said only Dushim could deal with the evil spirit. Furthermore, there was a woman who would accompany Dushim. It turned out that Wu Su was the person Dushim's grandmother had chosen to fight alongside her. Their relationship was much closer. They talked about the hug they had shared not long before. Wu Su couldn't restrain himself and hugged her again. It was clear they had hugged, but he couldn't remember, nor could he recall the feeling. That night, Wu Su was incredibly happy because he had fallen for Dushim. Watching Wu Su's back as he left, Dushim felt a tremor in her heart. This life-or-death exam meant that finishing last in the entire school would cost them their lives. Some students nervously took out their notes to cheat. Others, unafraid of the danger, dozed off during the exam. Taking advantage of the teacher's inattention, Dushim woke Il-nam up. Seeing her action, he smiled happily. Il-nam was also Wu Su's best friend, so he didn't want his friend to die needlessly. After the exam, Wu Su and Dushim sat and talked. Wu Su was very grateful that Dushim had woken Il-nam up. He knew that the fate of those who finished last wasn't to do something foolish. He thought there was someone in the school who only harmed those who ranked last. Dushim didn't tell him the truth. However, Wu Su's enthusiasm surprised her greatly. Wu Su told her it was because of those ghosts. Since he could see ghosts, he discovered that each ghost had its own resentment and anger. One night, the amulet that Dushim gave Wu Su accidentally fell. He realized that avoiding them wasn't the solution, so he threw the amulet away. He sat down and listened to the ghosts' wishes. That's when he realized that those ghosts only told him things they couldn't accept. He couldn't believe how unbelievable their stories were. After the ghosts finished speaking, Wu Su also told them his story. He discovered there was a girl in his heart. It was his first time falling in love, and he longed for her day and night, not knowing what to do. After hearing his story, the ghosts left. It turned out they couldn't help him either. After hearing Wu Su's story, Dushim didn't know that the girl Wu Su liked was her. When she went home from school, she suddenly met Sujung. Sujung has always liked Wu Su. Everyone knows that. Since Dushim appeared, Sujung has been worried. Sujung accidentally discovered that Wu Su and Dushim had been at the witch's house, so she wanted to find out what was going on. Dushim wanted to hide the fact that she was a witch. Unexpectedly, Unexpectedly, her mother suddenly appeared and revealed her identity. Sujung made a deal with Duchim. If Duchim stopped following Wu Su, she would help Duchim keep this secret. The next day after school, Duchim's attitude towards Wu Su changed. Seeing Duchim being cold towards him, he was very confused. When Duchim went to where her old friend had recently died, she saw bloodstains on the ground. She remembered the first day when, as she ran to the school gate, her friend suddenly fell to the ground. Duchim didn't care at first. She didn't think that the ghost would talk to her afterward. He told Duchim that he didn't want to die. Next, his soul was being devoured little by an evil spirit. Duchim guessed that all the friends who died here were at the hands of a demon. While waiting for the bus, Duchim was teased by Hyun Su. Annoyed, she told him to go away. Unexpectedly, a friend standing nearby thought Duchim was talking to her. Just as she was about to attack her, Wu Su ran up from somewhere and stopped her. Seeing Wu Su, the friend's tone suddenly softened. She mocked the unusual relationship between the two. Duchim ignored them and left. When Wu Su chased after Duchim, she told him that there was a demon in the school. That demon specialized in killing the lowest-ranked students. He didn't need to worry about her anymore. He should focus on Il-nam instead. After hearing this, Wu Su didn't follow her. That evening, he couldn't help but text Duchim. He wanted to meet her to talk things through. As he was preparing to meet her, Sujung suddenly came to his house looking for him. He ignored her and left. She guessed he went to see Duchim, so she threatened him, telling him not to anger her. He didn't care and just left. Sujung was furious. When Wu Su found Duchim, he asked her about the demon. She said there was no way to catch it. They could only hope that the person at the bottom wasn't one of their friends. The next day, after class, everyone knew Duchim was a witch. They kept coming up to her, asking her questions with sarcastic and mocking tones. Duchim knew Sujung was behind this. When the teacher entered the room, everyone obediently went back to their seats. The exam results were out. The person at the bottom was Il-nam. Wu Su started to worry, but Il-nam just laughed as if nothing had happened. After school, Wu Su gave Il-nam a lecture, then told Il-nam to pack up and leave the school. At this moment, Kyung-pil was unlocking a door with a talisman on it and said, "Let's go eat." Then the evil spirit excitedly rushed outside. Kyung-pil wore an evil grin. The evil spirit ran towards Wu Su and Il-nam. Seeing the evil spirit, Wu Su fearfully called out to Duchim. While Wu Su was frantically pulling Il-nam away, Duchim recited a spell and arrived just in time. The evil spirit was not driven away, but merely concealed itself. Duchim and Wu Su surrounded Il-nam to protect him. Duchim instructed Wu Su that the evil spirit would reappear soon and that he should quickly pull Il-nam towards the school gate. Wu Su was uneasy leaving Duchim to fight alone. Duchim felt that Wu Su would only distract her. After the evil spirit reappeared, Duchim shouted loudly, "Run!" But when confronted, Duchim was no match for it. Even the spell couldn't stop the evil spirit's attack. Wu Su led Il-nam to try and escape from the school. Kyung-pil didn't want to make a big fuss, so he hurriedly grabbed his cloth bag and went to look for the evil spirit. Wu Su and Il-nam had been running for a long time, and finally, they couldn't run anymore. They hid in an underground parking garage. Before they could even catch their breath, the evil spirit caught up. They could only continue to run. The evil spirit suddenly possessed a man. They ran into the elevator and hurriedly closed the doors. The evil spirit suddenly used its foot to stop the elevator doors from closing. Then it entered the elevator and began to attack them. The evil spirit closed the elevator doors and prepared to take Il-nam's life. At the moment of danger, Duchim arrived just in time and opened the elevator doors. Seeing Duchim, the evil spirit released them. It assumed Duchim had come alone and began to mock her for not knowing her limits. She said that she hadn't come alone. Then, many ghosts appeared behind her. Seeing the ghosts behind her, the evil spirit began to feel a little scared. They didn't give the evil spirit a chance to react, charging forward and attacking it. Wu Su and Il-nam seized the opportunity to escape. After they ran out, the elevator doors slammed shut, trapping the evil spirit and other ghosts inside. Wu Su and Duchim held Il-nam as they walked down the street. Seeing that the evil spirit wasn't pursuing them, they rested for a while. Because Duchim's witch identity had been revealed, Wu Su was extremely worried. He wanted to comfort her. For the time being, Duchim took Il-nam to her house. For now, it was the safest place. She also told Il-nam about the evil spirit harming the last place finisher, but he didn't believe her at all. At this moment, the evil spirit chased them to Duchim's house. Suddenly, a power appeared and bound the ghost. It turned out that Kyung-pil had arrived and cast a spell. He was completely unaware that Hyun Su, standing outside, had witnessed everything. Since Il-nam didn't believe in spirits, he prepared to leave. Even though Wu Su told Il-nam to stay, he still didn't believe her. Duchim told Il-nam about her father, mentioning some secrets only she and her father knew. Il-nam cried when he heard Duchim's story about her father. Finally, he believed she could see spirits. Duchim and Wu Su went outside to talk. She told him a few things about the future. She had only intended to tease him a little, so she lied about about being able to predict the future. Unexpectedly, he asked her if she was his future. While Wu Su was preparing to confess his feelings to Duchim, his parents suddenly drove up. They looked at Wu Su and Duchim with angry eyes. At this moment, Duchim's mother also opened the door and stepped out. Wu Su's mother firmly believed that Duchim and her mother had deliberately seduced him. Although the two mothers appeared very harmonious on the outside, their relationship was only one of exploitation and money. Wu Su's mother had never respected Duchim's mother. Duchim coldly chased Wu Su and his mother away. At this moment, Illinois Nam, who had been hiding inside Duchim's house, came out. He apologized to Duchim and her mother. He explained that if Wu Su and Duchim hadn't helped him escape the evil spirit, Wu Su's mother wouldn't have come looking for him. Feeling too ashamed to stay any longer, he said goodbye and ran away. While Wu Su and his parents were driving, his father kept scolding his mother for getting close to the witch. He also berated Wu Su for befriending someone who was a poor student. Wu Su angrily asked his father if he would no longer consider him his son if he was a poor student. Wu Su was completely taken aback by his father's response. His father was truly as cold as a devil. Academic achievement could be more important than fatherly love. Wu Su was so angry that he threatened to jump out of the car. His parents only told the driver to stop. After stopping the car, he immediately ran away from his parents. At that moment, Illinois Nam was helping his mother at a roadside food stall when he suddenly heard a strange sound. He thought a customer had arrived, but when he turned around, he saw nothing. As he turned back in doubt, the evil spirit had possessed him. Duchim found a brass hammer in the house. When she was little, she had seen her grandmother use this hammer to make the evil spirit disappear. Perhaps only this brass hammer could completely kill the evil spirit. Duchim put the hammer in her backpack, preparing to go catch the evil spirit. Seeing this, her mother became worried about her safety. Her mother advised her to stop and told her that no one would appreciate her for what she had done. While they were talking, Duchim suddenly received a call from Wu Su. He told her that Il Nam had forgotten something at school and that he had already gone to school. Duchim and Wu Su hurried to school. Il Nam was possessed by an evil spirit, completely losing consciousness. He frantically broke down the door, then went into the classroom and sat on the windowsill. He said that what meaning did life have for someone like him? A weak, useless person deserved such misery, causing Wu Su and Duchim immense pain. The evil spirit controlled his body, causing him to slowly fall backward. Just then, Wu Su ran into the classroom, trying to wake Il Nam, telling him not to move. Il Nam's hands were wrapped in string with talismans attached. Soon after, Duchim also entered. She took a bronze hammer from her bag and recited a spell to capture the evil spirit. She intended to force the spirit out of Il Nam's body and then use the hammer to deal with it. Although she had never done this before, she felt compelled to try. Il Nam's bronze color gradually faded and his consciousness slowly returned. Afterward, he told Duchim and Wu Su to release him. Duchim discovered that this wasn't Il Nam but an evil spirit in disguise. Although Il Nam begged Wu Su to release him, Wu Su, after a brief probing, detected something amiss. The evil spirit reverted to its original form. Duchim tried to force the spirit out of Il Nam's body, but to no avail. The spirit broke free from them, and taking advantage of their momentary lapse in vigilance, mocked Duchim and Wu Su's weakness. It also ridiculed Wu Su for befriending the worst student. Then, it stood on the windowsill again, and told them to pass on the message to the others. If you don't study properly, this is what will happen. The two ran to the window, watching Il Nam fall, and stood frozen in shock. They quickly rushed down. When they reached Il Nam, they saw that his soul had left his body. He looked around and began sobbing uncontrollably. He couldn't believe he was dead. Duchim rushed to Il Nam's body and discovered his heart was still beating. Wu Su quickly performed CPR on Il Nam, encouraging him to keep living. Evil spirits around them shrieked and mocked them. They had to get Il Nam to the hospital immediately. At that moment, Hinsu's spirit suddenly appeared. Hunsu told them they had to get Il Nam to the hospital within 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, Illinois Nam's soul would not be able to return to his body. While everyone was worried, Duchim suddenly thought of a way. She told Hunsu to possess Il Nam's body. She promised to help Hunsu find his mother. Hunsu agreed to help them and then possessed Il Nam's body. Il Nam quickly sat up and soon walked to the hospital on his own. He paced back and forth in the hospital without saying a word. Hunsu found a patch of bare wood and lay down. Then he left Il Nam's body. Duchim and Wu Su also arrived at the hospital. At this moment, Wu Su was extremely angry and remembered his friends who had been murdered by the ghost. He felt an unquenchable rage. He told Duchim that they must capture the evil spirit to avenge his classmates who had died unjustly. The next morning, when Kyung Pil arrived at school, he discovered the lock broken by the evil spirit along with blood on the ground. Suspicious, he went to the teaching building and accidentally encountered Mr. Sa coming down. He pretended to be calm and asked Mr. Sa about it. Unexpectedly, Mr. Sa had been possessed by the evil evil spirit. Seeing this, he began to panic. The evil spirit began to attack him. He managed to subdue it in time, using a talisman. Then he recited a spell to draw the evil spirit into his bag. He called Duchim to his office. Inside, Duchim also saw Wu Su's mother. At this time, Wu Su also entered the room and stood next to Duchim. Everyone was completely unaware that Wu Su was holding Duchim's hand from behind. Kyung Pil forced Duchim to transfer schools or drop out, claiming she was interfering with class attendance and leaving the classroom on her own. Wu Su spoke up, saying he did the same thing as Duchim, so he should also transfer or drop out. Duchim refused Kyung Pil's punishment. Everyone knew about Il-nam's suicide by jumping from the building. Duchim and Wu Su were both there. They tried to make Duchim the suspect, while Wu Su was portrayed as the victim, threatened by her. Wu Su angrily stood up and said he wanted to take full responsibility. Kyung Pil wanted to hide the existence of the evil spirit from Wu Su, so he planned to keep Duchim and hand her over to the demon. He found a way to brush the matter aside with Wu Su's mother. At this point, Duchim's mother finished her work and rushed to the school without even changing her clothes. She had come to protect Duchim, but unexpectedly met Wu Su's mother there. They mocked Duchim's mother and told her about Kyung Pil's decision. Only then did she breathe a sigh of relief. Suddenly, the bell in her hand rang. It only makes a sound when a ghost is around. The bell led her to a room. Duchim's mother sensed a terrifying presence behind the door and, frightened, quickly ran away. Seeing her ranking 100th, Duchim sadly sought out Wu Su to talk. Before this, she had always been first in the entire school. She never expected her ranking here to drop so drastically. Wu Su worried about Il-nam's spirit. Duchim told him that Hyun Su had hidden Il-nam's spirit. Only Hyun Su knew its location, in case the evil spirit possessed them and went searching for Il-nam. Therefore, they needed to capture the evil spirit as soon as possible so that Il-nam could be resurrected. To appease the evil spirit, Kyung Pil arranged another exam. A female student was sitting in the restroom, preparing to take a risk. Her name was A Kyung. She knew that in this mock exam, she would definitely be the last place finisher. Every time an exam ended, those who came last couldn't escape death. A Kyung feared she would suffer the same fate, so she pushed herself to the brink. At that moment, Duchim, standing outside, spoke up, seemingly intending to tell A Kyung that she would be alright. A Kyung didn't expect Duchim to come looking for her. Earlier, while A Kyung was waiting for the bus, Duchim had also been waiting there. Because of her fear of losing her life, she vented her anger on Duchim. Although A Kyung was Duchim's classmate, she had often mocked and ridiculed Duchim. After A Kyung finished venting her anger, Wu Su arrived. Duchim sensed something bad was about to happen, so she and Wu Su chased after her. After Duchim left, A Kyung prepared to cut her wrists again. At that moment, she suddenly heard two people talking. They were both advising A Kyung to keep living. When she opened the door, she saw no one outside. Following the sound, she found a comic book in the bag. It turned out that the characters in her story were speaking. They wanted her to live well because they needed her. She wiped away her tears and went outside. Duchim and Wu Su were waiting for her nearby. Duchim told A Kyung that many people hoped she would live on. Because A Kyung liked comics, Duchim said that if A Kyung tried her best to get through this year, she would become a very famous comic author. After hearing Duchim's words, A Kyung finally had the motivation to live on. Her attitude towards Duchim also changed. When she got home, Duchim met the spirit of Hyun Su. Hyun Su told her that on the night Il-nam was harmed in front of her house, Hyun Su saw someone chasing a demon and reciting a spell to subdue it. He felt that person was very familiar but couldn't remember who it was. Duchim gestured for Hyun Su to follow her instructions. She could help him recover his memory. When she went into the house, she saw ropes tied with amulets everywhere. Meanwhile, her mother was sitting in the corner of the house, trembling. Seeing her mother's terrified expression, she screamed. Her mother told her to change her mind immediately, that there wasn't just the evil spirit there, but many other ghosts wailing as well. The next day, when she arrived at class, Duchim remembered her mother's words. Seeing Wu Su asleep with his head on the desk, she didn't wake him, but took her phone and went downstairs alone. She discovered a door with a snake charm. As she was about to leave, she heard the ghost's voice calling. After standing there for a while, she couldn't hold on any longer and fainted on the spot. Wu Su dreamt that he entered a room. He turned on his phone's flashlight and saw all the ghosts of his classmates being killed by the evil spirit. Wu Su was terrified. When he turned around, he saw Duchim's spirit. Wu Su gently called out Duchim's name. He suddenly woke up. It was just a nightmare. When Wu Su turned his head to look at Duchim, he found she wasn't in the classroom. At that moment, Duchim was tormented by the cries of an evil spirit. Just as Duchim fainted, Wu Su arrived in time to catch her. After regaining consciousness, she told him that the room was occupied by the ghosts of her deceased classmates. Wu Su recalled the nightmare he had just had. Perhaps the evil spirit had trapped the souls of his classmates inside. To clarify things, they went to see Mr. Sa. Duchim told Mr. Sa about the evil spirit. They tried to ask for his help. He didn't believe in ghosts, but he thought about how his underperforming students had all suffered strange misfortunes. Furthermore, Wu Su, the top student in the school, also said so. Although still somewhat skeptical, he chose to trust them. Today was Mr. Sa's shift. That evening, he would go get the key to the basement and wait for them there. Soon it was night. When Duchim left the house, her mother tried to stop her, but because she wanted to save her classmates, she ignored her mother's pleas and resolutely left. Wu Su, wanting to find an excuse to go out, arranged to meet Su Jung, the girl his mother liked, at his house. He then had Hun Su possess her body. Finally, he used the excuse of going out with her to leave the house. Under the guidance of Teacher Sa, Duchim and Wu Su opened the door and went down to the basement. When they approached the door with the talisman pasted on it, Teacher Sa was extremely surprised. He had no idea there was such a place in the school. He tried many keys but couldn't open the door. Wu Su remembered the nightmare he had that morning. Fearing Duchim would be in danger, he told her to stay close to him at all times. After placing Su Jung in a safe place, Hyun Su also went down to the basement to help them. As he walked down the hallway, he accidentally saw a picture of Kyung Pil on the wall. Finally, he remembered that Kyung Pil had killed Duchim's grandmother and taken away the evil spirit. Finally, Mr. Sa found the key to unlock the door. Then they went into the basement. It was incredibly gloomy and covered in dust. They came to a room with many old, broken desks and chairs. Suddenly, behind them, they saw students sitting and studying. It turned out that the souls of the deceased students were all here to study. At this time, the evil spirit had not yet appeared. The students noticed Wu Su there. They all turned around at the same time to look at him in disbelief. They didn't expect Wu Su, the best student in the school, to be here. Wu Su asked them why they were there. They said that the teacher had forced them to stay there and simultaneously gestured for him to keep quiet. If the teacher found out, they would be punished. Duchim told them to leave quickly while the teacher was away. Unexpectedly, the evil spirit possessed Mr. Sa. Then it began to attack them. Years ago, the teacher had said the same thing. If fists don't work, use the whip. If whipping didn't work, they'd just spank him on the buttocks. It was all for their own good. At that moment, Hyun Su suddenly appeared. Taking advantage of the evil spirit's distraction, Wu Su rushed forward, hugged him tightly, and held him back, preventing him from breaking free. Hun Su stood at the door and told Duchim that Kyung Pil had killed her grandmother. Duchim and Wu Su were both surprised to hear Hun Su's words. The evil spirit seized the opportunity to escape from Teacher Sa's body and went behind Hun Su. 10 years had passed, and it finally caught Hun Su. Then it completely took over his soul. Duchim, heartbroken to see Hun Su disappear, burst into tears. He had been by her side for 10 years. She had promised to help him find his mother, but now he had fallen into the hands of the evil spirit. She didn't know how to save him. She remembered seeing Kyung Pil pass by when her grandmother died. She was too young then to pay attention. Now she finally understood that Kyung Pil was behind everything. The evil spirit had taken all the ghosts away. Duchim and Hun Su decided to temporarily set aside their feud with Kyung Pil to focus on dealing with the evil spirit and preventing it from harming their friends. Moreover, Hun Su had hidden Il-nam's soul to protect him. Only Hun Su knew where he was hiding it. They absolutely had to find the evil spirit quickly to rescue Hun Su. Because Teacher Sa knew nothing, the next day he recounted how he had led Duchim and Hun Su down to the basement and seen the evil spirit. Teacher Sa had originally intended to tell Kyung Pil to stop the exams to capture the evil spirit. He didn't want his students to die unjustly. Unexpectedly, Kyung Pil became angry and said that even with the evil spirit's presence, the students could still pass the entrance exams to good universities. That was all thanks to the evil spirit's strict urging. At the same time, Kyung Pil warned Teacher Sa not to become the lowest-ranked teacher in the school. Otherwise, he too would be taken away by the evil spirit. Teacher Sa dared not say anything more. After school, Duchim and Wu Su went to visit Il-nam, who was in a coma. The hospital bills were so high that Il-nam's mother was on the verge of collapse. They comforted Il-nam's mother, assuring her that she must persevere with his treatment. They assured her he would wake up in a few days. On the way home, Duchim hugged Wu Su for the first time. Facing the evil spirit, she didn't know if she could survive. Could she overcome this ordeal at the age of 18? She didn't want to have any regrets. When Wu Su finally let go of Duchim, she kissed him. It was their first kiss, a mix of tension, shyness, and sweetness. This time, they didn't hold back their feelings. The uncertainty of tomorrow left them feeling hopeless. The second day of the exam arrived. During this exam, Duchim and Wu Su each had their own thoughts. They wanted to use the exam to lure the evil spirit out. Wanting to catch the evil spirit, she planned to cheat on the exam. She negotiated beforehand with A Kyung, who was likely to get the lowest score. During the exam, they would exchange answer sheets. Duchim wanted to get the lowest score to lure the evil spirit out. Unexpectedly, just as they were about to exchange answer sheets, the teacher discovered them. They had no choice but to wait for the next exam. But But during the next exam, just as they were about to exchange answer sheets, Wu Su suddenly reported them to the teacher for cheating. The plan to exchange answer sheets failed. Normally, Kyung would be the evil spirit's next target, but it wasn't just the students cheating. Kyung Pil was also cheating. Wanting to eliminate Duchim, who could catch the evil spirit, he forced Teacher Sa to falsify the exam results. Duchim got only one question correct in all subjects. Teacher Sa didn't want to do it, but to keep his job, he had no choice. After the teacher corrected Duchim's answers, he discovered something astonishing. He slowly walked into the classroom and announced the exam results to the students. Wu Su had the lowest score in the school. The whole class was incredibly shocked. Wu Su had always been the top student, but this time he was last. Duchim finally understood his true purpose. He wanted to meet the evil spirit. After school, Duchim gave her score sheet to Wu Su. She was second from the bottom. She told him that someone had altered her paper, wanting her to sacrifice herself to the evil spirit. She was surprised that Wu Su had done this. Wu Su was very happy that he had ruined the opponent's plan. Sure enough, when Kyung Pil learned that Wu Su had the lowest score, he was furious. Wu Su was a key student in the school. He couldn't hand Wu Su over to the evil spirit. Therefore, he intended to cancel the exam, but he had underestimated the evil spirit. Because he nurtured it, its power grew stronger and stronger. It automatically opened the safe. Now, he could no longer control it. He tried his best to stop it, but it still broke through the safe and escaped. At this moment, Duchim and Wu Su were preparing for a life-or-death battle with the evil spirit. Duchim's mother had even pasted many talismans on their clothes to ward off the evil spirit's attack. As the two were preparing, Kyung suddenly rushed in. Their actions aroused suspicion. Duchim and Wu Su felt a little embarrassed. Kyung, however, didn't think much of it. She simply said she wanted to help them defeat the evil spirit. Sujung also joined in. Kyung had told Sujung about the evil spirit. Sujung was worried about Wu Su, so she also wanted to participate. Duchim thought they really needed help, so she allowed them to join and opened her yin-yang eyes to help them temporarily see the evil spirit. Duchim gave them talismans and instructed them to stick them in the school. As night fell, the group began their battle. Duchim led Wu Su to capture the evil spirit that preyed on the souls of low-achieving students. The evil spirit questioned who was at the bottom of the class. Wu Su didn't answer, telling it to find the answer itself. This time, it was its turn to be the test subject. It smirked and charged towards the two, intending to capture both of them. Seeing the evil spirit easily break through the protective barrier, they were astonished. They hadn't expected the spirit to become so powerful. When Kyung and Sujung emerged, they saw the evil spirit. They felt a fear they had never experienced before. Sujung frantically threw red beans at the evil spirit, but to no avail. It turned out that the evil spirit contained the souls of deceased students. Duchim and Wu Su angrily ran forward. The evil spirit used a move to knock them to the ground. Wu Su struggled to his feet, and the evil spirit attempted to possess him. But because he had a magic spell, the evil spirit tried many times but failed. When Duchim was about to pick up the bronze axe beside her to attack, Sujung stepped forward, grabbed the axe, and struck at the evil spirit. But she was no match for it either. Kyung ran forward to support Sujung and threw the axe to Duchim. She then ran forward and began attacking the evil spirit. When Duchim was exhausted, Wu Su began chanting a spell and slowly approached the evil spirit. Finally, the spell took effect, and the evil spirit was subdued. Wu Su endured the pain and stood up. Then he picked up the axe and swung it at the ghost. In this critical moment, he remembered the way he and Duchim worked together. Therefore, the two clasped hands and chanted the spell. Unexpectedly, their combined strength was so effective. Finally, they escaped the evil spirit's control. It stopped attacking them and fled. As Wu Su and Duchim were about to chase after it, Kyung Pil suddenly stopped them. He wanted to protect the school's reputation, so he planned to eliminate Duchim. Just as he was about to attack Duchim again, Wu Su lunged at him. Unexpectedly, during their struggle, he fell down the stairs. Duchim retrieved the cloth bag containing the spirit from his jacket pocket and prepared to search for it. Suddenly, they heard screams coming from the rooftop. Duchim and Wu Su immediately ran up there. When they reached the rooftop, Sujung was being controlled by the evil spirit. Sitting below the railing, Wu Su rushed over. In the critical moment, he managed to grab Sujung's hand. Duchim ran to Wu Su and held his hand tightly. Suddenly, Sujung's face transformed into that of the evil spirit. It turned out the spirit had plotted to trick Wu Su, intending to possess Wu Su through Sujung. Duchim immediately pulled Wu Su back, encouraging him to resist. Then she chanted a spell. Their friends were helping them. Because the souls of the deceased students began to resist and rise within the evil spirit's body, it weakened. Duchim took out a cloth bag and recited a spell to subdue the evil spirit. Just as the evil spirit was about to be sucked into the bag, it suddenly burst out. Duchim also fell to the ground. At this moment, her grandmother's spirit suddenly appeared and looked at them with a comforting comforting gaze. This time, her grandmother could finally rest easy. She entered the bag. Duchim and Wu Su raised the bag and recited a spell together. Thanks to her grandmother's power, they finally managed to suck the evil spirit's soul into the bag. Then Duchim picked up the axe from the ground and decisively chopped at the bag, finally destroying the evil spirit. After the evil spirit was destroyed, Duchim's grandmother appeared again to say goodbye. Then she led the souls of the students and disappeared from the world. Hien Su was also saved. He said that Ilnam's soul was hidden in Duchim's grandmother's grave. Now, using the hand gestures Duchim taught him, he remembered the way home and wanted to go home to see his mother for a while before leaving this world. After telling them to take care, he disappeared. This battle finally ended. Kyung Pil, lying on the stairs, suddenly sprang up. He looked at the person he thought was still safe and sound. Unexpectedly, when he looked down, he saw his own body. It turned out he was dead. Now he was just a ghost. Wu Su went to Duchim's grandmother's grave to find Ilnam's soul. Ilnam, lying in his hospital bed, finally woke up. From then on, the students at the school no longer feared the exam. The film ends here. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and see you again.